I'm Scott Brody. I am the design director on Crimson Moon and a part of Team Metal. And I'm going to be answering your Discord questions today. After completing the Gildan Arc area and returning to the base, will players remain connected without being disconnected, allowing them to continue playing together? Yes, you and your co-op partner come back to the hub together, not into separate lobbies or separate hub spaces. So the hub acts as a matchmaking lobby in a way, so you can invite friends or matchmake with random people to create a party and then continue on your run. You can also load out and use all of the hub progression features or interact with the NPCs as well before going to your next mission. Will there be team ups you can do with your teammates? There aren't formal kind of co-op team up moves, but there are a ton of synergistic abilities built into the armor and equipment you can get and the various weapon arts you can earn and use from the weapons and shields that you have. There's a lot of really great examples of sort of set and spike type combinations where one player can maybe mark or set a status effect on the enemy and the other player can take advantage of that with their equipment set. Are there any build synergies that you can share with us through your playtests? One that comes to mind is our freezing build. So we have a number of boons and weapon arts that can add freeze buildup, and it can eventually make your enemies be frozen. And so it's fun to buff your freezing weapon arts and weapons with some synergistic boons that increase how rapidly you can freeze and eventually kind of shatter the enemies that get frozen, which is a fun, exciting moment in our game. But there's a ton of other ones to explore, but that's just what came to mind. Crimson Moon seems to be very duo-based, and I adore that. But what about solo play? I know it said it can be played solo, but will some content be locked off? Could you beat and collect everything as a solo player? Yes, so our game is very much built to be a fun and challenging solo experience. The way we kind of describe it is that it's built for co-op and in a lot of ways better in co-op because we just offer more and interesting ways to play. We talked about build synergies before, and so I really enjoy playing the game solo, but co-op is definitely there and made to feel great on its own as well. So whatever you want to play, solo or co-op, we've got you covered. Is it possible to collect and complete all equipment, weapons, and items in the game? Yes, and that is the primary chase in the game over time, is to purify and add all the equipment you find to your permanent collection so that you can then use it in future runs, making you more powerful or allowing you to build and start with a more synergistic build right away. And we have a sort of collection inventory where you can do everything you've collected through the run. Not only possible, but a core driver in the game. And we have a ton of awesome armor sets and awesome art from our art team that really makes that exciting to collect. Do higher difficulty levels provide better rewards? Yes, the rewards at higher difficulty levels are increased and you can attain sort of at the floor level a higher rarity set of gear, and the top level rarity that will be dropped is also increased. So that's the main incentive for unlocking and playing at higher difficulty levels. Is there a way for solo players to revive themselves at least once during their run, like a one-time effigy or ward? Reviving mechanics are mostly reserved for co-op, but in single player, we have a life pool system. So you can, you start with a number of lives and then you can earn additional lives. And every time you die, those count down, and you only experience a true death once all those lives are gone. So you will auto revive and actually get a really cool kind of burst effect that'll knock enemies back so you can kind of get your bearings and continue forward. And the life pool resets every time you end a mission and return to the hub. So the run pool is really about surviving through one of our districts within the run, but then you'll have them refilled at the start of the next mission and our world boss fights. Are there spells and other ranged weapons, or is it pure melee? So our game is primarily focused on action RPG and Souls-like melee combat, but we definitely have a number of ranged options available. The primary way that you can do that is through the use of your weapon arts, and many of the weapon arts are projectiles, or radial-based attacks that allow you to attack from afar. The other really fun thing is that we have an additional angel form that you can acquire, and that is completely focused on ranged attacks. It has sort of a burst magic attack as well as AoEs, so it's really fun to play with that and come up with more of a combined melee and range strategy. We also have throwables and consumables that can hit from range. For example, one of my favorites is the throwing knives, and we also have bombs, so you can use those in addition with all the other attacks that we have for ranged. Will there be difficulty options or prestige difficulty options to play the game again at a high level of challenge as a reward for successfully completing a run? Yes, there will be a variety of difficulty options that you unlock for completing runs and missions at lower difficulties, and the main benefit of doing that, other than just a higher challenge threshold, is higher XP and higher rarity loot to be found. Will there be or are there theme-based areas? Yeah, so each of the 6 districts that we're going to have in the game are heavily themed to tell a story, or at least from an environmental standpoint, speak to the world and what's been happening in Gildenart. So we have a number of unique environments, from cathedrals to broken down cities, burning cities, that I think are really exciting to go through and connect the dots with the combat encounters and bosses you'll face there as well. Our stage is designed as open areas, dungeons with a series of corridors. We're kind of a little bit of both. We took a lot of inspiration from games like Elden Ring as well as Bloodborne, but I think we're closer to Bloodborne in the sense that we have more defined spaces, so they're replayable, and they have randomized content within them, different enemies, different challenges, but ultimately we wanted you to be able to learn the runs, understand the routes, and have some level of preparation while also looking out for things to adapt to. What types of bosses will the game have to offer? Will there be quick time events, or would it be something more like a Souls-like game? So we definitely blend action RPG and Souls-like inspirations into our boss fights. We're definitely not following quick time events or things like God of War, as much as I love those games. We try to offer a variety of boss fights that are tailored to people who really want a high skill Souls-like fight where they can test their parry and dodge, as well as an action RPG experience that might be better for co-op or just players who are really there to fight through and maybe not think their way through it. So we've really enjoyed designing the bosses on this game, and I think we've got something there for everyone. How long has the game been in development? So the game's been in development for about 4 years, and we're excited that it's finally coming out this fall.